Hello, my name's Nigel from B2B Whiteboard. I'd like to cover a topic today which is distribution conflict. The conflict that actually occurs between vendors and distributors. Conflict can be said to be a state of disagreement between two parties that should be avoided. But what we find with conflict is that conflict can be a source of re-energizing a relationship. So it has a negative and a positive side to it. What we find is that relationships with high trust tend to be devoid of conflict. And when relationships incur conflicts, the relationships with high trust tend to be in a better position to resolve those conflicts. But what I'd like to cover today is just three types of conflicts that occur in distribution channel relationships. The first conflict are temporary conflicts, and these conflicts are associated with, for example, a vendor going on back order and not being able to supply his distributor stock. It also might be associated with putting a distributor on stop credit accidentally. It might be issues associated with quality control. It might be issues associated with relationships between account manager and distributor. They might be just minor disagreements. And secondly, we want to look at the permanent conflicts. Now, the permanent conflicts are more difficult, and we should be very conscious of these with our distributors. Permanent conflicts are associated with vendors who go direct and bypass their distribution channel partners. Another permanent type of conflict is over-distribution, which is a major source of conflict with distributors, especially in franchise businesses. And the third conflict that we need to be aware of, which is not really spoken too much about, is the psychological conflict. Now, the psychological conflict is the perception of harm. You might have a distributor who thinks a vendor is doing a harmful act against their business. So sometimes this psychological conflict often occurs because the vendor hasn't been communicating regular with the distributor. And to avoid this psychological conflict, it can be addressed by increasing communication frequency. So how do we resolve conflict when it starts to manifest? What we need to be aware of is that we need to put our best account managers in place to manage our distributors. And we can't put inexperienced account managers. We need account managers that have good communication, are good listeners, and are able to address conflicts as they arise in these relationships. So I've given you a little bit of an overview of conflict and how important that is in distribution channels. So we'll say goodbye, and we'll catch up next time. Bye.